Hey there, this is Mario from shockingfit.com, and in this video you're going to learn the number one reason why diets fail in the long run. So you probably heard that about 65-70% of people that successfully lose weight regain weight in about 3 years. So that's the period that the studies show that most people, so this is the majority of people, do regain all the weight or fat they've lost. They actually not just regain the stuff they lost, they actually go further and end up being in a worse situation than before they dieted. And I mean, even if someone told you right now, hey, I did go on a diet, I lost a bunch of weight, but I regained everything back, you wouldn't even be surprised. It would probably be a normal thing. And you're just like, yeah, that's cool. I mean, I saw it. I mean, there's so many articles saying the same thing. You also probably heard that people who win a lottery, they usually end up being broke within a year, like 70-80% of people. And not, or maybe not broke, but some of them just revert back to their previous level of wealth. And for most of the people that play the lottery, that's pretty much being broke. So what is happening here? Why don't these people have the ability to maintain that weight that they've lost? I mean, they have the habits, they have the knowledge, they change their lifestyle. I mean, obviously, you have to change your lifestyle if you repeat something and if something works for 6 months. There's obviously some lifestyle change. I mean, if you think about it, the studies show that the habits will change, like even the big habit will induce change within 66 days. Like for smaller habits, it takes about 3 weeks, but for a bigger habit like eating healthy food and getting rid of some bad habit that was holding you back, like soda drinking and all these crappy fried foods and stuff like that, it might take 66 days to get completely rid of that. But I mean, these people have succeeded. They know what to do, they know how to do it, and then they have their why. That's all the three components that all the self-help advice out there tells you need to do, like what, how, and why. So why are these people failing? Why are these people returning back to their previous self? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. So looking at it right now, what I've observed, not just with my clients, I've observed this with myself, is that it comes down to what you think about yourself, like your current self-image. So what does this mean? Like what is this woo-woo crap about self-image? Well, look, let's say you lose weight. Let's say you lose 50 pounds of fat in 6 months. But if in your head, like in your mind, you're still a fatty, if you think of yourself like someone who has a weight problem, and if your mind is still like the same mind that you had 5 months ago, 6 months ago, you're gonna find a way to revert back to your previous self. And I mean, I see this all the time. This is not just nutrition, and this is not just gym, bodybuilding, and fitness. I know guys, they start a business, the business goes well, but they just find a way to self-sabotage and break that business, and just doesn't work out, and it just fails. They start a new business, they get some success, and you really start feeling like it's going forward. Bam, something happens, they just self-sabotage, revert back to their previous self. Happens all the time. It's because the stuff that we're telling ourselves plays a much bigger role, and most of us are not even aware what we're talking, like what are we saying to ourselves when we're talking to ourselves, and we are talking to ourselves non-stop. Like, think about it. When you want to grab that bunch of French fries, you're probably saying something to yourself, right? I mean, it comes down to our self-talk. And the self-image, the way self-image is built, is through self-talk. So I guess we could trace this down. Let's just use the stand-up psychology example as going back to the childhood, or going back to like high school and periods of like early years. So let's take an example of someone who has defined themselves as being bad at math. And you probably heard people say that, hey, I'm not a math person, I'm more like a sports person, or I'm more like a language person, I'm not like a physics or biology person, right? And people will kind of build these small identities around things, and you probably have a bunch of yourself. I have a bunch of myself. I like have the self-image of like someone who likes chocolate a lot and things like that. So how does this thing happen? Well, let's say you go on a math test for one time, the first math test you ever did, and you fail. You just didn't study enough, and objectively, you just didn't know enough to pass. Come back home, or just you speak to one of your parents, and they just tell you, "Hey, oh, you suck, but it's funny. You don't have to be Einstein. You know, you're. I mean, they don't tell you directly you suck, but they might tell you if your parents are really fucked up, they might tell you, hey, you're a fucking loser. But even if they're normal parents, the regular parents, they're just gonna tell you, hey, you don't have to be Einstein. It's fine. You know, it's gonna be alright. And then you think about yourself, well, maybe I'm not really good at math, right? And then you go on the next exam and you didn't study enough because you told yourself you're not very good at math, so you invested more time into doing some other stuff, and you instantly don't find this very fun to do, and then you fail the next exam as well. Then you start thinking to yourself, well, these people might be right, you know, I might not be really good at math. And whole education system about the grading stuff, like from 1 to 5 or A to F, like in the United States, I mean, it's all about grading your performance. And if you get a couple of negative grades, puts you on a negative spiral, like on a downward spiral. And then at that downward spiral, the bottom of that downward spiral is you building a self-image of someone who sucks at that skill, or whatever that skill is. It's not that you can't become good at fucking math. You know, anybody can become good at math if you're not holding yourself back. And these self-imposed limitations are something that I found play a key role when it comes to sustaining that fat loss, weight loss, diet, that strength level, even strength levels. I mean, I seen guys, it was unfucking believable, right? Guys just limit themselves by the amount of weight they think they can lift. Like, it's crazy. Like, a lot of guys are a ton stronger than they think. They go to the gym, they're like, hey, yeah, I can't do more than this. Then you actually tell them, hey, fucker, you can do more. You put more weights on the side, and they do it. And then it's just like, oh, okay, I guess I'm stronger than I thought. And most people are definitely limiting themselves, not just in, as I said, in the gym, but in almost all areas of your life. I mean, you're basically just putting a lot of limitations on yourself that you're not conscious about. And I mean, the self-image thing is, I mean, we could talk about it and you can say, hey, that's just woo-woo crap and all that, but in reality, it's not. I mean, these are proven things that are proven to be accurate and by science, by psychology, and they're observed for almost like 3-4 decades, right? So you might have heard, I'm not sure, if you're in the sports circles, if you're in the fitness circle, you might have heard that there's a lot of mental training involved when you prepare professional athletes. So with professional athletes, it's not even the point of that they have to exert the maximum amount of performance and improve that. It's actually that to just remove all the obstacles that are preventing them from putting out their best performance, because their best performance is amazing, right? Their best performance when they're in the flow, I mean, you'll see guys shooting 3-pointers like every time they get the ball, right? But their limitations is what's holding most people back. And that's something that I just felt like we need to address and put in a video. And the first step is actually being aware and accepting the fact that you might have some limitations put on yourself by yourself. And then once you say that, then you can actually identify your life and remove that subjective viewpoint of yourself. Like, okay, let's look at the facts. Let's not look at what my opinion is of the facts. Let's just look at the facts. Let's be objective here and analyze and see where could you have been holding yourself back. Have you self-sabotaged yourself when you've achieved success into something and went back to your previous self because you just couldn't accept that newfound identity? You couldn't accept that new self-image. You couldn't get rid of your old beliefs. That's a big thing that's holding most people back. It's just having a bunch of old beliefs that they're just dragging them down like fucking lead to the bottom of the ocean, right? It just keeps dragging you down and you can't get rid of it. And this is not going to be easy. I mean, there's that saying, like, everything is hard before it becomes easy. I mean, this is going to be hard in the beginning, and it will take a lot of repetitions, same repetitions that you've used to build that negative self-image. You can use those same repetitions to build a positive one, and the one without limitations that will allow you to lose weight, that you're going to allow you to change your life, change your lifestyle, change all areas of your life, and improve them and keep improving them. Because once you master the skill of changing your self-image, and that's coming before you set goals, that's coming before you set what habits you're gonna, that's coming before everything. It is what you think about yourself. So keep an eye on what you're saying to yourself when you're talking to yourself. And if you resonated with the idea from this video, leave me a comment below. If you felt like sometimes you achieved success and you just reverted back and you didn't understand why is that happening to you? So leave a comment below. Let me know if that ever happened to you or if somebody who you know. And besides that, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to click subscribe below to support the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.